Well, if you're in the mood for something a little different with a little kick, this is the one for you. Hi everyone. Today we're making jalapeno popper casserole. It's got chicken, it's got cheese, it's got some heat. So let's make it. First up, our bacon. So I've got 4 slices cut in half, bacon sheets and parchment paper. That's going to go in the oven, 375, about 15 minutes. Keep an eye on it. And when it's done, nice and crispy. Boy, do they shrink. But that's what we're going to use. We're going to cool that down till I can handle it. So there's our pieces. Now we're just going to crumble them into little pieces because this is going to work out to one of our toppings that go on the casserole at the end. Because how can you have a jalapeno popper without bacon? I don't know that you can. And I don't know that 4 pieces was quite enough. You might want to do 6. We'll put that aside for now. Next up, our jalapeno. That's 1. Not really 1. I mean, it is 1. But I got another 4 for inside the casserole. This one's for the topping. So we're going to make some slices just to cover the top of our casserole. Now the stem, I used to always throw out, but watch this. Look at the pieces that you cut off. I used to throw these out all the time. Take a little extra time, get rid of the stem, and look at it. It may not look like much, but that along with the other 4 that we chopped up, pretty well filled that bowl. And those are all the stems from the other 4 too. So look at how much I've got a head start on our jalapenos. Always a good idea. Just don't necessarily throw things out. You can always stretch it or use it somewhere else. They freeze great in the freezer. Next up, our chicken. 2 chicken breasts, decent size. If you want to put a little more in, go ahead. This seemed to be just right. We're going to chop it up into bite-sized pieces. Now the fun part, we're going to cook the chicken. That is some bacon grease, believe it or not. I always save them because sometimes you need it. Usually when I cook bacon in the pan, but I didn't this time, we're going to cook our chicken. So this is about half our chicken. Try to spread it around so it doesn't all stick together. About 3 minutes, about each side should do it. A little bit of pepper. You want to put some salt in, go ahead. It won't need it. At least I don't think so. We'll flip it over and make sure all the pieces are unstuck. So you want that little golden look to it. You know you're doing good. So there's our chicken all nice and cooked. Just like that. Now with the leftover grease, we're going to take our onions. That's about a cup. Along with that is the ends of green onions up to leave the really green parts and all our jalapenos. And that's a 1/4 cup, maybe 1/3 of a cup of jalapenos. And really, that's your choice. You want to put a whole cup in. By all means, that'll just make it a little hotter if you've got hot peppers. Mix, mix, mix. Cook this stuff down till it's something like that, nice and soft. Now this is 3 tablespoons of flour. I kind of wish I would have gone a little easier on it because it really gummed up the works there, man. I probably would have been better off with maybe a tablespoon. Now you're going to put in 1 cup of chicken broth, 1 cup of milk, stir till it thickens. Next, you're going to put in 4 ounces room temperature cream cheese, about a minute to melt it all together. Then we're going to put in the chicken, some salt, and a cup-ish of mozzarella. And now we mix. Looks all nice and good and gooey. Let's get it off the element. Let it sit for a minute or 2. Just like that. Nice and gooey. All right, in goes our chicken. Oh yeah, there we go. A little bit of salt and pepper if you need it. Now let's bring out our baking dish. Little one just like that. And in goes some spray so it doesn't stick too much. Looks good. This is real simple now. Take all that mixture we just made and put her in the pan. Just like that. See how sticky that all is? Oh yeah, so we're going to let this cook for a bit. We're going to even everything out first. Come on. Let's get all that goodness in there. Look how sticky the cheese is. It's stringy as hell, but that's cool. I don't think I normally cook with just mozzarella, maybe for pizza, but usually I've got the not quite so stringy with the cheddar in that. So we're going to cover this up with some tin foil. It doesn't have to be perfectly tight. And into the oven it goes. 400 for 10 minutes. Oh, but first, let's unpack it out of the oven. And this is for in place of breadcrumbs, which I didn't have, but I did have some pork rinds, which is also keto friendly if you're doing that. And this is maybe, I don't know, a third to a half a cup. You want enough to sprinkle on the top. Don't overdo it. Just put like just enough like I'm doing right there. That's all you need. Doesn't matter if it covers it all the way. You put any more than that, you're not going to like it. Cover it back up. It's going to go in the oven for 10 minutes. And then we're going to take the lid off, bake it for another 10 to 15 minutes. And when it's done, we take it out. Here's our bacon. Oh, that we've been waiting to use since we started. And load up the top with the bacon. Yummy. Now next up is our green onions. This is the tops. We put the bottoms in the mix. The tops are on top. And then our sliced jalapenos. Look at that. Back into the oven. We're going to let it warm up for about 10 minutes. And actually, if you want them nice and soft, bake them for the 10-15 minutes after you take the cover off. And there you go. There is a jalapeno popper dish. This one's a winner. You're going to like it. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.